Do you have multiple years of career break and now you're worried how you're going to go back to the industry and start working again? In today's conversation, you're going to get a lot of useful tips. Pratyusha is a data engineer at Grubhub. After her college, she worked in the industry for 5 years as a BI and data analyst. Then she had a 6 years of long career break because of her personal situation. After that, she did something and that helped her get a job as a data engineer at Grubhub, which is a popular food delivery application here in US. Towards the end of the video, we are going to discuss 3 important tips that anyone needs to follow after a long career break in order to get a job again in a smooth way. Let's get started. Pratyusha, thanks for spending time for this conversation today.
Thank you so much, Thal sir. It's so good to be here with you today.
All right, so let's get started. First, let's discuss what do you do at Grubhub? What is your role, and what tools and technologies do you use there?
I work as a data engineer with Grubhub. I'm currently with the data consumer team. We mostly work on the data related to orders and care.
Mm-hmm,
The tools we use are we use PySpark for ETL, and
mm-hmm,
we use Presto Interactive Query Engine, and
mm-hmm.
we use other open source big data tools for scheduling the jobs.
Let's talk about your background. So let's start with your education. What was your education, and after education, uh,
Mhm.
where did you work, and what was your role?
So I graduated with a bachelor's in information technology in 2009. And when I was in my final year, I was sitting for the campus placements and I got an offer to work for Infosys. I started working there right after graduation, and it was a great start to my career. We had a very good training program for 6 months, and we
Mm-hmm,
were trained in different programming languages and other tools and databases. And after the training, my specialization was in business intelligence. And I got to work with different clients like Bank of America and telecom industries. My work there was mostly data warehouse projects, and we used Informatica Power Center for ETL. And
mm-hmm,
I did a lot of reporting too. We used Cognos reporting tool, and we also used SSRS. So these were what I did at Infosys. And then I got married. I moved to the US and I did my master's in computer science at UTPB. It's in west of Texas. And there I also got an opportunity to work full time for a department called institutional research. I
mm-hmm,
was working there as a data analyst, and
mm-hmm,
my work there was migrating the data from a legacy database to a SQL Server warehouse.
mm-hmm,
And we did a lot of reporting, and we used Tableau there for reporting.
mm-hmm.
We
I
initially
see.
used Cognos reporting, and then we moved to Tableau. I think Tableau started right then, and we picked it up in a couple of months, and we were using it for reports and dashboarding. And when I graduated, I was pregnant in my final semester, and I was also working full time. I mean, my hands are full. And when I graduated, I had a 6 week baby, and I had a lot of things going on. And I thought that's the best time to take a break so I can focus on my baby. And
Mm-hmm,
initially, I didn't plan to take a long break. I was thinking for about an year. Maybe I
mm-hmm.
could get back to work within a year or when my baby starts working. But it went on, and we moved cities, and things happened. And then I had another baby, and my break extended for 6 years.
Today's video is sponsored by DataCamp. DataCamp is an online learning platform that can help you become data fluent with more than 350 data science courses which are designed by experts. I myself have DataCamp subscription, and the thing I like most about this platform is, let's say you're learning about what is boosting. So here you watch a quick 5-minute video which is given by an industry expert, and then immediately you can practice whatever you learned using the code. The thing is, you don't have to install anything. The code you can write within the platform, and then you can run code and submit the solution. You also get XP points, which makes the whole experience very gamified. And if you don't know the answer, you can of course take hints, which will reduce your points, by the way, but that's fine. You can also show the answer run code, run solution, and you can solidify whatever you learned from that theory. They also have different career tracks. So let's say you want to become data scientist in Python, you just go to that particular career track and you will see all the courses that you need to learn to become data scientist in Python programming language. You also have skill tracks. So you are interested in learning specific skill, let's say Python, and you have all those beautiful courses here. So use the special link I have for you in the video description below and register on DataCamp platform and get the first chapter free for any data science course. Wow. So you, after your studies in BTech,
Mhm.
how many years did you do the work before you took this break?
Okay, so I worked in India at Infosys for 3.5 years, and then when I did my master's, I worked at the university here for 2 years.
Got
So
it.
I have an experience of 5.5 years.
So your BTech 5.5 years of experience, then this 6 years long break. So your break was longer than your previous
Exactly,
experience, correct?
exactly.
I get a lot of questions on my YouTube channel where people are doubtful,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they have a long career break. The doubts that they have is like, will we be able to move back in the industry? So let's discuss, how did you prepare to go back to work and what kind of problems did you face during that time?
Mm-hmm. So after a couple of years, my younger one is 2.5 years old, and I know he would be starting school soon. So I thought it's the right time for me to focus on my career and get back to track. So I started looking around for jobs, and I kept applying everywhere. But things didn't work out as I planned, and I did not imagine it would be so hard to get back to work. Though I
Hmm.
had the right experience, I had the education and skill set, people were not willing to take a chance.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I would get call from the recruiters,
Hmm.
but that would be the last call that I would ever hear from them, because once I tell them that I have a break, they would
Hmm.
not be willing to give me another chance. I would not even get an opportunity for a coding interview.
Hmm.
So the thing is, people compare me to a person who's already working on the same tool in
Hmm.
another company, and obviously that's not a fair comparison, but that's how things work. And that didn't work out for me. I tried for over a couple of months, and I did not, very few times it turned into a coding interview, but then there's obviously a silence that's not communicated about the gap.
Hmm.
And some recruiters would be like, we would talk to the team about the gap and get back, and they would just ignore me after that. I would not hear from them. So, this beginning of this year, I heard about returnship and I
Hmm.
applied. And yeah, the best thing here is they compare you with people who have a career break just like you. I felt that was one of the greatest advantages with returnship. But while I was applying for full time jobs, the challenging thing was to keep going after getting a couple of rejections. It was, I mean, I was not even sure if I would ever be able to get back to work. I had the same doubts. Am I doing the right things?
Hmm.
Or am I even enough to get back to workforce right now? Because things have changed. 6 years is a long time in IT. Many things changed. And for all the data engineer roles, they were looking for big data tools that I did not have any experience at.
Hmm.
So just keeping myself motivated to continue learning or doing whatever I do, like applying and things like that, that was the main challenge. And
Got it.
also, yeah, keeping the confidence levels. With
Hmm.
rejection after rejection, the levels keep dropping down. And sometimes I even thought, should I even go back to work or be a stay-at-home mom all my life? But I wanted to give it a try.
Hmm. Got it. So it's amazing, right? 6 years, technologies evolve so fast. Even in,
Right.
like within 1 year, technology, the new
Mm-hmm.
tools will come up, old tools will retire. Now,
Mm-hmm.
6 years, your previous experience kind of becomes a little bit irrelevant.
Right.
And now here you are, you have to learn so many new things.
Uh-huh.
Now you discussed returnship. So
Mm-hmm.
what is returnship and how is it different than internship?
So returnship is a program that's basically a 16 to 20-week program. It's completely virtual. The duration of the program depends on the company. So returnships give people who had a career break an opportunity to get back to work. And this 16-week program that Grubhub had is a tailored program that can rebuild my skill set. Though I already started upskilling when I'm ready to get back to work, the 16-week program gave me the confidence that I needed to learn the tools that Grubhub uses right now, and just revamp my confidence so I could come back and keep starting. I mean, start to contribute. So in the program, I have a buddy who I can talk anything to, and I have a mentor. This mentor is a technical strong person, and they would help me guide and continue working. And I have a manager who I would talk to every week, and I would get their feedback. I think most of the companies' returnship program is pretty similar. They have this structure, and the manager would give the returnees continuous feedback. Like once in a week, you get feedback. What are you doing good, and what can you do differently, or what can you do better? So
Hmm.
we can take the feedback and get better, like work on your areas of improvement and where are you lacking, where do you have gaps in your skill set, and work on that. So after the 16-week period, there would be an evaluation, and not everyone gets a full-time role, but people who perform well, and if there is a requirement and everything goes well, they give you a full-time offer. Mm-hmm.
Got it. So it's just like internship basically. In
Right.
order to get into the program, they will probably take your interview. And
Mm-hmm.
after you're done through your internship program, again, there
Right.
might be an interview or based on your performance, you will get selected. Cool.
Right. Best thing is they don't treat you as a fresher. So if I have an experience, they treat me as a person with experience and not as a fresher.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the program itself
Right.
gives a very good understanding of, what it is
Exactly.
all about.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware, like, how is this returnship program? Is it something that is being run by many companies? I know you are in US, but just curious, do you know about other countries such as India where companies have such programs?
Okay, so none of my friends or anyone I have gone through had this experience, but when I was looking up online, I saw different companies like IBM. IBM has a tech re-entry program,
Hmm.
and they offer opportunities for people with a career break.
Hmm.
And there is a program called PayPal Recharge. That's
Hmm.
another internship program, and they offer opportunities as well. But from what I see, it looks like most of these companies are looking mostly with for women. But in the US, it's different. So the internship program doesn't. I mean, they don't care for the gender. They look for people who have a career break.
Got it.
And reason for the career break, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It could
Hmm.
be because you want to, I mean, explore something, or you have family issues or kids, or it could be anything.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've also seen companies like Mintra are offering returnship programs.
I see. So if
Mhm.
someone is going through career break and if that person is listening to this video, I think
Mhm.
you should go and do Google search on a returnship
Right,
and just try
exactly.
to find LinkedIn
Programs.
jobs on returnship, and those programs will be pretty useful. So based
Mhm.
on your experience,
Mhm.
if someone is going through career break right now, what
Mhm.
are the three steps that you would ask that person to follow so that that person can come back to industry smoothly?
Okay, for someone like me who has a long gap, I think the best bet is to first upskill yourself, assess your skills based on the job descriptions that you see in the current market, and see where your gaps are. For me, I was working on Python and Tableau before, but I had a long break, so things changed for sure. There were many new features that added up. So what I did was upskilling myself first. So I didn't have a work visa ready last year. I was not eligible to work, so I utilized that time to upskill
Mm.
myself, and I started watching videos a
Mhm.
lot on YouTube, and I used online portals like Udemy, there is Coursera, there is LinkedIn Learning, and there is a lot of content on each of them.
Mhm.
And I started watching the videos, learning, and then getting the certifications if necessary. And I did a lot of practice what you learn. So I saw your data structures and algorithms videos for Python while
Mhm.
I was preparing for interviews. I watched the playlist, and then I did the exercises at the end, and I did a lot of practice. So I think that practice gave me the confidence to crack the interviews. So the first step I would ask anybody is to access your skills, see how you are right now, and see what the industry needs right now, and upskill yourself. And just do a practice run. If you have kids like me, see what works for you and what doesn't. Because just because I relaunched myself, I came back to my career track, it doesn't mean that I don't have the same responsibilities that I had before. So
Hmm.
my kids still needs me. I have two kids and they still need me, and my house responsibilities are just the same. So prioritizing is what I would suggest. Just see what are your priorities, what is on the
Hmm.
top right now, and just go with them and ignore the others.
Hmm.
Ignore what other things you would do when you have time. So just see how much of time you have and prioritize on what works for you and what doesn't. So
Hmm.
for me, my family and my work are the top two priorities for now. So I ignore the rest.
Hmm.
I don't care that much about how my house looks or other things like that. That's not my priority for now.
Cool. You can give that thing to your husband, maybe. He will clean up the
Right.
house.
Right. And other thing would be just be confident in the process while you get rejections. Don't lose hope. Just have faith in yourself and keep going, because I had multiple rejections and couple of times I felt like giving up. But then
Hmm.
I strongly wanted to get back to work and strengthen my skills. So that kept me going. So start with what you really like and start learning and practicing that. That way, it could give you some confidence and boost to keep going. But then just having the confidence in yourself and going through the process, though it takes time, because getting back to work after a long gap is not easy. But again, it's not impossible. All you
Hmm.
need is time. It took me a lot of time to go through, and still, I cannot say I'm an expert at anything. I'm still learning. So
Hmm.
every day I have challenges and I learn at work. I just take things as it comes up, but just, I mean, uh, upskilling yourself would help you be prepared to go with the flow.
You give really cool tips here. Upskilling yourself, deciding your priorities,
Hmm.
and the third one. What was the third one? I forgot. The third one was
Having confidence in what you do
having
now and this
having
process
I
works.
think that's the probably the most important one, because if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a confidence, I think that can be a real bummer. Getting rejections initially is totally normal, but then
Right.
thinking that no, I'm not ready, what's going to happen, those
Uh-huh.
self doubts are your big enemies. So if
Right.
anyone again is going through career break, please
Mm-hmm.
keep on trying, have patience, you will get a success. IT industry is booming, data science, AI, technology industry in general is booming, so many career opportunities. And it's not like, okay, you in your case, Pratyusha, you were a BI analyst, data analyst before, so it was moving to data engineer was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But many times I suggest to people that even if your past experience is in some other field, it doesn't mean that you have to continue in that field. You can transition to a different field altogether. Few
Mm-hmm.
days back, I
Mm-hmm.
interviewed someone who was a lawyer for 12 years. A
Wow.
lawyer for
Yeah, that
12
video. Yes,
years.
I did that. I did watch that video.
You watched that video, right? So
Yeah,
at
I'm a subscriber
37,
though, also.
yeah, cool. So at 37, he
Uh-huh.
starts learning coding. At 39, he's a software engineer at Google. And
Mm-hmm.
before that, he was lawyer, fighting cases in the court. So if the
Exactly.
lawyer can transition to software engineer role, and not only software engineer role, like he's working at Google.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there is just one outlier here. Actually, there are so many cases. When I was talking with Zubin, he
Mm-hmm.
was saying that he himself came in contact with 16 people who were
Wow.
lawyer and now they're software engineers. So
Wow.
in his circle there are 16 lawyers who became a software engineer. So
Wow.
the beautiful thing about today's world is that so much information and learning is available on internet. You can
Right.
just learn things on your own. You don't need to go to university or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the best part.
How I started upskilling is with your insights, with data insights
Sales
project on
insights.
Tab. Yes, sales insight. So that's how I started. And then I looked at the other videos, and there is a lot of content, and you can learn for free. And I've seen people doing a boot camp. So that's another option if you want a scheduled learning type of stuff. Boot camps can give you the enough knowledge and practice that you need. So that's another option.
Yeah, boot camps are good
Mhm.
as well. But if you have, sometimes boot camp can be costly. I have a my
Right.
friend whose wife is
Mhm.
going to a boot camp, which is like $15,000.
Wow.
If you can afford it, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
if you can't afford it, don't get disappointed. That's the point. Like there are so many, like
Mm-hmm.
my channel itself has so much content for free,
Mm-hmm.
and these
Mm-hmm.
are like project based learning, so it's not like just theory, project based learning,
Right.
which is the best thing. So any other advice do you have for people with
Mhm.
a career gap, because many times they feel it is now not possible to get back to work? So of course
Right.
from your case it's not true. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what's any other advice you have for such folks?
So, what I feel is once a person has a career break and when they want to get back to workforce, how I thought was, did I forget everything that I worked on 6 years ago? Or things changed drastically, or will I be able to pick it up? Or would it be, I mean, different right now since my life is different? I have two kids and things have changed. How is it going to look right now? But the first step is to start applying. That's what I did. I started applying and I started upskilling in parallel. I did both in parallel. So it took a lot of time, but then it's not impossible to get back to work. I've seen many people doing that. Most of my friends did that. And I've seen a person who has a career break of 10 years get back, and she is a software developer engineer at Audible now. So
Hmm.
it's not impossible, but it needs a lot of motivation. And I don't say it's easy because it took me like around an year to upskill myself and get the confidence to crack the interviews. So it's not easy, but again, it's not impossible. And once you are ready, just keep applying, and yeah, it's not impossible again.
Very good. That's a good piece of advice for everyone. So, Pratyusha, thank you very much for spending time today for this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.